Great. Good morning. Thanks for being here today. This is really a satisfying thing to report today. I think there's still work to be done, but here today to announce that there were skeletal remains that were recovered in October of last year that were not identified for a very, very long time. And today I can identify them as the woman whose picture is over here, Brooke Cameron. At the time she was recovered, as I said, her remains were largely skeletal, and we couldn't do a visual identification, and we had to partner with a lot of people to help us. And part of that reason a lot of people are up here is to say thank you to so many people who helped out. To my immediate left is Dr. Todd Barr, who was a forensic pathologist in our office at the time. He's currently down in Akron. He finished his training and he was ready to go out. He led the investigation in our office. And I don't think Chief Williams needs any introduction, but he's flanked by Dr. Jim Schneider, who is our forensic dentist consultant, and Dr. Linda Spurlock, who is a professor at Kent State University, who is also our forensic anthropology consultant, as well as our forensic artist, and she generated those pictures. And in a minute we'll let you tell you what goes into that process, because I certainly don't do that myself, and that's a high level of expertise. I mentioned Chief Williams, and beside him are Detectives Carlin and Antonoff and Commander McPike, who also headed up to see Cleveland Police Department. I think, the reason I want to stress all the people who are up here with me is because these are collaborative things, and I think that it's important to acknowledge so many people who help. And I would add to that thanks our partners in the media, because as a result of disseminating this photograph, we were able to get information that led us to the identification. And were it not for that kind of help, we would not have had that opportunity to follow up on something like that. In my own building, I'd be very remiss if I didn't acknowledge Anjanette Fisher and Christina Lakova, who were our identification unit, and Anjanette was very tireless in pursuing this leads and all kinds of things. For every positive lead we get, there's probably about a dozen that don't pan out, and that's Angie's work to do that kind of that piece of detective work for us. So we have notified family, the Cleveland Police Department. We can bring some justice not only, but I'm glad whenever we have somebody to at least say that we identified them. And I'd say the real critical piece, at least in getting the leads that for the identification, was Dr. Linda Spurlock's picture. And I figured it was a good time to at least give her a chance to talk about how she does this, because I think it's very interesting. So
excuse me one second.
Thank you, Dr. Basin. The first thing that I usually do when I'm called to consult is to determine male or female, approximately how old, maybe if there's clues to the ancestry of the person and their stature when they were alive. And we use clues of the anatomy for that. The pelvis and the skull are very important for determining the sex, and the pelvis, the joints of the pelvis are very important for determining age at death. And features of the skull are often giving us clues about ancestry. In this case, this person was Native American, and there were features of her teeth and her cheekbones that indicated that. In order to narrow down the search even more, once we have that biological profile, that's where we need to do some forensic art. And it's actually a science, not so much art. And it's the facial proportions that are going to be very, very important for recognition among family and friends. Does the person have wide set eyes or a strong chin? Things like that. Those features will be very, very important in identity. So the artist need not get every aspect of it correct, just some good proportions, and the art comes in when you're sculpting or drawing a face that looks recognizably human, but you're using forensic guidelines every step of the way.
Thanks. We will be able to take questions afterwards too, and I just wanted to turn things over to Chief Williams to comment on the investigation as well. Chief?
Good morning. Well, again, as Dr. Gilson stated, this is definitely a collaboration between the Medical Examiner's Office and members of the Cleveland Division of Police. Our homicide unit, Detective Harlan, and our partner, Detective Intonac, did a great job on this. They followed up on leads. They wouldn't let this case go. And again, with that help from the medical examiner and his team assembled here, we're able to make the identification of this female and bring a little bit of closure to that family, but now we still have to find out who did this heinous crime. So we're definitely asking the public's help. You helped us in the identification process. Now we need help in identifying the person responsible. So you can definitely call our homicide unit, 623-5464, expert Detective Kathleen Carlin. And any information, no matter how big or how small, is valuable in this case. So we need those calls to come in. Again, I can't stress enough the partnership involved here between the Medical Examiner's Office, Dr. Gilson's team, and the Cleveland Division of Police, and our partners in the county, and getting to this point in this investigation so far. But we definitely need to solve this for this family. So I want to thank Dr. Gilson and his team, the members assembled here for their work and dedication, but we still have a little ways to go. So thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Be happy to answer any questions anyone has.
I'm curious, when did she go missing? What were the circumstances of that?
We recovered the remains in October. Obviously, she had gone missing some period of time, months before that. I don't know if more to add on that.
Can you go up to the microphone, please? I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you.
Brooklyn, as she was called by her friends and family, came to the Cleveland area in 2015 with a boyfriend. The boyfriend was since extradited back to New Mexico, and she remained here in Cleveland. Between that time in December of 2015 and October of 2016, the family became concerned because they weren't hearing from her. They contacted the police and notified us of the circumstances. When she was discovered in October of 2016, her information, along with the information on other missing persons during that time frame, were given to the medical examiner's office.
You don't know how long she's been dead, do you? You don't know any idea of when she was killed?
No, not exactly. No.
Not exactly. Or how she died?
She died as a gunshot injury, yes.
Gunshot.
We do know that.
Okay.
Any idea how she wound up in that vacant lot?
Somebody knows that, I think, but it's not us.
Yeah, we assume she was dumped by the person that committed the crime.
Do you think she was killed there or somewhere else?
We don't know. We really can't get too far into it, but we definitely need information that can tell us those things.
And the tipster, was that someone she knew during her time in Cleveland, I assume?
It was anonymous, actually.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody.
Cool. I'll be around to the folks at their discretion. Happy to answer any other questions. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for your help.
Thank you.